filled in our intake forms.
Yes, it was very comprehensive.
Yes, we want to make sure you tick off all the right boxes, and it looks like you did.
So I'll be
Not
able to.
so fast.
Well, I would be happy to treat you. I'm gonna need at least 3 letters from your therapist, psychiatrist, and your PCP, all demonstrating that what you've self-declared to be your feelings about your gender and desire for transition are actually true. And then I'd be happy to talk with you about next steps, but we don't want to make a mistake, do we?
And cut. That was perfect. That was great.
Right.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I think we can go for another take. Cool. Should we go for it?
So I'm a scholar of rhetoric. I'm particularly focused on transgender language practices and archives. When Harry Benjamin published The Transsexual Phenomenon in 1966, he had already been working with trans patients for decades at that point. But of course, through those interactions, he's actively shaping the ways that people are describing themselves. It was meant to be a textbook for those in the medical field. Well, it won't surprise you that trans folks got their hands on it pretty quickly, and it became, some would call it the trans Bible, right? Because it was like the key that you needed to unlock the door of the medical establishment in order to get the care that you needed.
Now it's very... Wow.
Ooh.
Intimate. Yeah. So this is both of your offices.
Wow.
Yes. It's very moody. Have some fun.
Cool.
Great.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Can't wait to be interrogated.
It's gonna be so fun.
It's gonna be a blast.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Wow. I haven't done that in years. How did that? Yeah.
That was cute.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, don't switch the chair back, but you can sit back a little bit. Yeah.
We'll be happy to treat you. You'll need at least 3 letters from your therapist, from a psychiatrist, from your PCP, demonstrating that you've self-declared about your feelings,
cool.
about your gender and desire.
Whenever I would go to doctor appointments, I feel like I would dissociate a little bit.
I'm just like, all right, here we go. Time to be perceived. What's gonna happen? So what brings you in today?
I was hoping. I'm coming to you because
You want my help?
Yes.
Well, that is what I'm here to do. But I must ask, why?
I've just always known from childhood that something was different about me.
Different in what way?
I've always known that I was born in the wrong body.
Of course. Many patients have expressed this feeling to me before.
Cut.
If script 1 is true crime, it's all about like interrogation, then script 2 is like a psychological horror, which we're sort of like touching on how weird these interactions can be in these offices.
Yeah, I think we want it to feel uncanny. Like that feeling where things seem on the surface like they are going well, but you get like that gut feeling that it all is not well. Kind of based on all those interviews we did. It's about that experience of like technically being seen and being like treated as a patient, but it's still discomforting.
Right.
Thank you.
That's an H. Don't you know doctor writing is not legible?
So that's 1?
That's your dosage. Don't question
Okay.
my credibility.
I remember my endocrinologist, I would hear it all the time from her. She's like, you want bigger muscles, right? Let's up your dose. You want this, right? Let's do that.
They kept trying to make me prove myself to them. They would ask me directly, well, what does it feel like to be a boy? And I was like, don't you know? I felt like I needed to portray this kind of suffering person who didn't like makeup, didn't like anything girly, hated the color pink. It felt like there were certain parts of my gender euphoria that I had to hide.
I would really be struck by how much they were already asking me about being in the wrong body, because they want that narrative, because they know that's what they should be looking for, and that was not my experience.
What I want to say, or like what I hope to one day say, is when I walk into the office, I'm like, all right, it's time to fuck it up. Like, it's time to blow it up. Like, here's what, oh, you think that about me? Okay, surprise. And to like, be like fearless. But in reality, I actually just succumb to the binary.
Anyways, I got all your letters, so I think we can move forward.
That's great.
Exciting, right? I'm gonna make a man out of you. I'm joking. Mulan,
Right. Of course.
I'm assuming you want all the traditional effects of HRT, so I'll just mark all that down.
Well, actually, I'm...
Non-binary. I know, I read your files. But either way, we are gonna kick that nasty dysphoria in the butt, okay?
Well, I actually have questions about dosage and all that.
Of course, but as I said, lots of patients are waiting for me, so we'll just go with the normal dosage and you'll see how you like it.
Can I, like, call you if there are any issues?
You can just check in with me through the patient portal. I'm just a direct message away. You can slide right into those DMs. Like I said, cool doctor. You can give this to the front desk.
That was great. Did it feel okay?
It was fun for me.
Yeah.
It was fun for me too, and sad, but like fun to play the sad.
We have interrogation, uncanny,
And then I think cozy or comfortable? Comfortable. Or at least, you know, from the interviews, the way that they're receiving care in an informed consent model is like much closer to the like unideal.
right?
So I think we want it to feel a little like homier and kinder and like a sense of connection.
I am the expert on myself because who else lives in my head 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year? Who else is here all the damn time?
I realized that there was some gender nonconformity in myself when I was in therapy. When I just told my therapist, it's kind of funny, but sometimes when I think of myself in my head, I think of a girl. I just said it like totally nonchalantly. And then she was like, okay, yeah, it seems like there is some gender fluidity there, just like matter-of-factly. And that fact alone really changed my life, to bring this thing that I previously suppressed and been so ashamed of. And so she was able to see that in me without pathologizing it, without stigmatizing it. But from that point on, my therapist wasn't really of much use, or maybe that's a little bit disparaging, but she was a cis woman and she just didn't know enough. She hadn't had the kind of specialized education.
Because it's not just the patient who should be changing for the provider, it's the provider who should be adapting to the patients as well. And so really thinking about this as a dynamic relationship is so critical for trans folks, especially given our historical experiences of having to be subjected to rather than really taking part in our own care in an authentic way that has real power with it.
Breath in and action.
It's so lovely to see you again.
Thanks. It's really nice to see you too.
How are things going?
really well, I think, yeah.
Tell me more.
I mean, it's just been so wonderful having space and time with community and really getting to like play and explore with gender and just feeling so expansive.
I'm so happy to hear that. So we're here to check your levels.
Yes, and
And?
I think I want to go up on my dose.
Great.
It just feels like it makes sense for me right now, so.
I'm happy to up your dose. We'll just talk a bit more about potential side effects from going up, but I can write your prescription today and you can get started.
I mean, that would be so amazing. Thank you so much. It feels so nice being in the driver's seat, if that makes sense.
Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I don't think this is the only way. I don't believe that transness or dysphoria is something like a disorder or a disease or something like that some people have that needs to be diagnosed. I'm really grossed out by this whole idea, actually, this whole diagnostic process.
I want to be able to answer all the questions that we're asking about trans healthcare and gender and performance, and it's just like this tangled yarn that like I want someone to unfurl because like I want the future to be better.
The idea of just like exploring this and attempting to like untangle is in some ways like an answer, even if it's maybe not an answer, it's an invitation, it's like an open door to say like, okay, we have these questions, they're worth exploring, and like they could think about a world without scripts. Like maybe that's how we move forward, is like having more people have the same questions.
It is that freedom to remake yourself in your own image without anyone else telling you what to do or defining it. There definitely should be sort of a middle point where the medical community offers what is available and people can see what's right for them.
We can't have healthy relationships with our bodies until the full breadth of bodies that inhabit different genders is recognized. In truth, humanity is incredibly messy and incredibly fluid. This is why we need artists. In addition to scientists and biologists, we need poets and painters and everyone who is creatively working at the places where language fails us. Language is too fixed, is too temporal, is too individualist to capture reality, which is always in flux, which is always in transition, always in conversation with other people, the past, present, and the future.